Good afternoon. Welcome to Options Tenders Friday, November 28th, 2029. So we're closing out the month, the week, and the day today early at 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We're doing this video intraday. If you want to get these videos intraday, consider becoming a YouTube supporter. It's 99 cents. And if you want to get additional videos and information, we go in depth for you and game plans each and every day, $4.99 a month. So welcome everybody. Hope you had a wonderful Thanksgiving. I want to start off with the monthly. We'll go down and look at the weekly, and we'll do somewhat of a normal analysis after that of SPX and VIX, and therefore we can kind of close this week out and show you what the expectations are for when volume comes back into the market next week. Okay. All right, so let's dive into it. We have SPX on the monthly time frame, just a naked chart here. Look at this. This is actually a beautiful thing for a bear setup. We have a hangman candle. That's textbook hangman candle. Now we'll look for follow through in the following months to the downside after this. Okay, that's it for the monthly time frame. We have divergences. We have all that. I'll do more videos throughout the weekend. A more weekend analysis, and we'll look at individual we'll look at the cannabis market separately, and IBIT, the Bitcoin market, separately as well. Okay. All right. In the weekly time frame, it clearly looks like we're getting higher highs and higher lows. So I talked about this in the members video. All right, sorry, I had to pause to take a phone call there. So on the members video, we had this move established, right? So looking at this 1, 2, 3, 4 weeks, obviously that's a month period. We could come into some equilibrium type price action next week. I'm not saying that we can't break lows by next week. I just wanted, to put that attention out there, make it available to you, just for awareness. But this candle here, it's a big Maribozu candle, right? You get this buy signal just from a candle perspective. If we close above this candle here, obviously that's a buy signal, but we're into major resistance, so we're conflicting, and you're going to have buyers and sellers. So that's what I'm talking about in equilibrium. And I suspect if we do get an inside candle next week, obviously, if you're bullish, you want to see follow through with a weekly candle. There could be a setup, either a red bar headed to the downside, or possibly a red bar inside this an inside week before continuing to the downside. So just again, when you're if you're trading options, you always want to have these perspectives in mind that it can take more time than typical, so you don't have theta decay in your options expirations, your dates that you choose. Okay. All right. That's it for the weekly. On the daily time frame, we're looking, obviously we're going to have low volume here. I don't need to show that. We're looking for a lower high at this point. I do think this was a single move in itself, and I think it was a 5-wave move. And we're looking for what we continue to, on a traditional look, a left shoulder, head, and a right shoulder. All right, so here's your neckline down here, slanted. And what bulls are going to look for is this downtrend line here. It doesn't have to, I'm not worried about where it moves. It's not a valid trend line. There's only two touches there. All right, so what you're looking for as a bulls, you're looking for a bull flag. And great questions from people in the Discord. By the way, both memberships, they come with the Discord. They come with Cheddar Flow, Options Flow, Dark Pool Prints, and just a great value there. It's a great community to be in. Even if you're not all about my videos or my perspective or my style of trading, you have all different types of traders in there. And I really love it. And it's just one of those value things. I know people make fun on YouTube. Oh, you get what you for 99 cents. No, I just wanted people to be in one room, and it supports the channel here. So I appreciate all of you that are in there already, and come join us. So what we're going to look for, again, this is a bull flag if you're bullish. And we all know how fast things break down if a bull flag breaks to the downside. So that's what we're looking at for Head and Shoulders here. Also, some people were asking in Patreon and in the Discord about when do you turn bullish? All right. And so here's our moving averages. We're going to keep this very simple. They're all coming together right here. You're above the 50. So we were talking about breadth, and breadth it really, really improved. And you'll see this with the McClellan oscillator when we get there. Actually, I'll just throw it on. You see how it's improved. As a matter of fact, it's in an overbought territory. And if we're in a downtrend, that's it. That's your setup. And we head lower. So breadth did increase. We have stocks that are getting back above their 50-day moving averages. And so what happens is you want to see price hold on to that. So you want to see a left shoulder, head, and hold on to, even if it gets back under it, hold on to a higher low and get back above all these moving averages. And that would be very bullish. And we'd see, again, a left shoulder, head, right shoulder on a pullback, and then a breakout there. Okay, so that's the bullish setup. Just keep it real clean and simple. And bearish is getting underneath these and then coming back and failing from those moving averages. Okay, so that's why I'm worried about coming into an equilibrium and not just breaking down right away. Extreme. Okay, it could, but the higher probability situation is we go get buyers and get sellers, buyers, sellers until that breaks down. And I laid that out in a real clean look for individual stock members there, if you want to go look at review those videos. Okay, so trend is so far sideways to up. Moving averages were above them. That's check mark for the bulls, but this is a single move. Remember, we need to make a higher low at some point. You see we're overbought on the McClellan oscillator, but the McClellan summation, just be aware, okay, is still bearish. All right, we're still in the downtrend. We're still bearish. Okay, we're overbought already with this extreme move here, so we need to cool off a little bit. But watch the slow stochastic. We're already at our peak. We want to see, if you're bullish, you want to see this come, maybe make some sort of move up here, sort of like this, continue to stay up there. But if you're bearish, you're going to see a sell signal, and it should oscillate back to the downside. Now, again, somebody mentioned that we have this green histogram here. So we're getting that bull cross right here at the 0 line. And that's normal to test. It goes above and below and above. This one, it didn't give that whipsaw. It did test back there. So this is still a test. You need to, again, see that higher low situation and for this to continue to move to the upside. So the neutral on that stance right there. Here's the Demark. So we got our 13 exhaustion sell signal. So that with this candle, I do think this is going to be a reversal candle. By the end of the day, it might be a little bit more like a spinning top or a dragonfly or gravestone doji. But for now, it doesn't really matter to me. I think this exhaustion is correct. I do think we'll start to reverse going into Monday. And as a matter of fact, with this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 day move in a row, green, there was some statistics that we put out in the Discord that kind of leans us to Monday or Tuesday becoming bearish again, which is natural. Nothing goes in a straight line. SPY. Here's your money flow. And again, we're not seeing on this huge move here, we're not seeing volume. And so this money flow index is accumulation and distribution. We're in this distribution cycle. And what I'm pointing out here is this very weak bounce. Now, if you're not familiar, look it up, but it's the RSI indicator with volume included, and we're not getting any volume here. And of course, you could argue, well, on up moves, you don't get much volume. that yes, that's true, but not this desolate. And so this is a very good indicator for accumulation and distribution. So here's your Bollinger, pretty much no man's land, no setup here. And your L8 oscillator, right where, if you've been following me, right back to that zero line. We might get a little green mark here, but for the close today. But other than that, I think we continue in this red. Let's go to the VIX. So on this VIX, it was really wonky this morning. The VIX has a huge range. It popped in the morning. Nothing came out of it price-wise. And then we dropped it within seconds really low. I don't know what's happening with that, but we still have our trend line here and it's holding on to it. And we're looking for this, again, consolidation area, but breakout coming out here. So wasn't sure if we'd come all the way back down to the trend line. We did. It almost looked like we're going to come down to this one just within seconds, but it's holding on to this for now. Obviously, if the market continues to grind higher, then the VIX index could drop all the way to this major trend line right here. But I'm really looking for this one at this point. All right, so we're at support right now. Again, I was looking at this purple cycle. It goes well with the near term moves that are happening. And so we're still looking for Monday. We're in this window for this low to happen with this cycle here. So we're already in the window today, but again, Monday could be the ideal low for this to happen here, for a low in the VIX and for the continuation. So I'm not taking out this major cycle yet. I want to see how that continues to go, but I did notice that this one works really well going back here in the past for the shorter time frame. So really, I could almost take out this cycle right here and just pay attention to this one, and then we can go from there. So that's a little bit more clean. I'll keep that look there, but I do understand that these can be broken down as well if you get to the center there. So okay, so we're looking for a low in the VIX. Let's go to SPY in the 65, and this is important because in this very near term, you see, I know it looks like, I don't know, somebody was talking about John at trading, I can't remember, on X, saying, oh, the right shoulder is bigger on this side, it's invalidated. I mean, that's not really how it works. I'm sure he's been trading quite a long time, but there's no symmetry. It doesn't have to equal each sides, but nevertheless, you can, however you want to look at it. But price action's getting really tight in here. So we have our wedge forming, we have a high here, and then this is the important part. And that's why this line works. It wasn't necessarily a trend line, but we like to draw these wedges, and then they confirm the wedge when something like this happens. And here you have your negative divergence right there. All right. So that confirms the negative divergence. We're really tight within the wedge. I'm not sure if anything's going to happen today, but the divergence is here at the slow stoke, and we're also getting that sell signal. It's trying to climb back up. We'll see, and we're at the top of this cycle here. We don't have to do this in order for this MACD to be oversold in the cycle, especially when you're at this dead cat bounce, and then we should see it cycle back to the downside. Okay, so we had this wedge breakout. We read that correctly. The one thing that that happened that we didn't think, I thought that price would come up into resistance here, pull back, which we got this miniature pullback and actually did okay with that. Me and Ralph Kaz specifically, but I thought we would have got a pullback, a test of this gap, and then a rapid move to the upside. Instead, on a low volume week, pretty much just straight up, and that's the risk to the upside that we had to think about. Okay, so here's the trend is up, obviously, in the lower time frame, 65-minute. And we already looked at negative divergences. So we have the 13 exhaustion on the on the daily, and then we had this 9 count. We're still counting a new count, 1, 2, 3, 4. No setup here on the Demark money flow index. We're getting this divergence here as well. So again, this is not the place to hold on to longs. This is a great setup for, at minimum, a retracement. All right, and again, if you're bullish, which I am not, you'll look for this left shoulder, head, and right shoulder, which, you know, these are big moves here. It could come back to test it. It doesn't have to. It could be pretty shallow going into next week, and that could be your right shoulder. And as long as it holds on to those daily time frame, 8, 20, and 50-day moving averages, I use day 8 EMA, and then break out from there. Okay, so if that's bullish, but I'm bearish and I'm looking for this right shoulder. It doesn't really matter. It's great to have both perspectives, because then we can change. You know, we're inputs. That's what makes me bearish. We're inputs, swings, and we'll have to, once we get this dip, I'll be looking for call hedges. Okay, and like I told the members, what's probably going to happen next week is you get this move down, however far it goes down, and that will be, in my opinion, your wave 1, and you still get that wave 2 bounce that's going to head into a new kind of downtrend situation, and you'll be able to draw kind of like a equilibrium, and then I don't know if the whole week will end out sideways, but then if it breaks down from the low point or the high point, that's the direction you'll go. Hope that makes sense. Your Bollinger Band setup, we had that sell signal up here and had a little bit of consolidation. That's it. There's no setup right now. Elliott oscillator, negative divergence. All right, I'm going to have to make these lines a little bit thicker and brighter for you. I'm sure it's a little bit harder to see on some screens, maybe your phone. Okay, and here's the VIX on the 65-minute, and we drew that trend line yesterday, and not quite the lows here. It could be adjusted a little bit, just for, oops. Just to show somewhere down there. So, but yeah, just to keep that on there. What am I doing? Boom. And there's the lows. Okay, so you want to see price get back above this trend line here. I know it's dipping above there. See where it closes, and going into next week, we want to see 17 regained. And also, I had drawn, I don't know why it's not on here. It might be on a different page, but I drew a wedge here as well. And we had somewhat of a kind of a fake break there. The wedge got real thin, and I guess that's a gap close, whatever was happening today, and a back test. And we should see price moving higher at some point going into next week. All right, you guys. Hope you had a wonderful day today. I hope you had a wonderful day yesterday. Enjoy the rest of the week, weekend, if you're hanging out with family and stuff like that, or even if you're not. And then we'll see you. I'll do other videos throughout each day. I'll try to post something, okay? All right, thanks again for the likes and subscriptions, and come join us in the Discord. Really good information in there.